Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon and a warm welcome to each and everyone present here. My name is Veena. I am the anchor for today's webinar. On behalf of Focus Fairies Circle of National Child Development Council, the students of the 49th batch of Ncdc are hosting today's webinar. I would like to start this session with a quote by Oscar Wilde. A dreamer is one who can only find his way by moonlight, and his punishment is that he sees the dawn before the rest of the world. So dream big. A beautiful session starts with an invocation to God Almighty. I would like to invite my friend Ansu ma'am for the prayer.
Thank you, ma'am. So everyone, please close your eyes. There shall be showers of blessing. This is the promise of love. There shall be seas and refreshing, sent from the Savior above. Showers of blessing, showers of blessing. Mercy drops round us are falling, but for the showers we plead. There shall be showers of blessing, precious rivering again, over the hills and the valleys, sound of advance of a rain, showers of blessing, showers of blessing we need. Mercy drops round us are falling, but for the showers we plead. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. That was a wonderful prayer song. Happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. It's my privilege to invite our mentor, our faculty, Mrs. Shakila Abdul Wahab, ma'am, for the welcome address. Shakila, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you, Veena ma'am. Good evening, one and all present here. It's my pleasure to welcome you all for today's this webinar. And before that, I want to say two words about our NCDC. National Child Development Council. It's a New Delhi-based self-governing ISO certified national organization working for the education and welfare for women and children in India since 2004. So thank you so much, Baba sir, for giving us such opportunities to conduct such webinars. It will be very beneficial for the common people, especially for women and children. And today's our great pleasure, we have got such a wonderful personality. Anamika Mishra ma'am is a life coach and NLP practitioner. We welcome you, ma'am, Anamika Mishra ma'am, for this webinar. And next, I want to welcome our dear Jyoti ma'am, who is our circle coordinator and senior faculty of NCDC. And all our dear students of 49th batch, dear teacher trainees, it's much pleasure to welcome you because you are hosting this today's occasion. And all the attendees and all those who are watching our FP Live, cordially inviting for this today's session. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. A few words about the speaker. Mrs. Anamika Mishra is a credentialed life, leadership, and a relationship coach. She is a certified NLP trainer and EFT professional. She is also a Reiki Grandmaster. She has over 2 years of experience in teaching. She would like to make the world a better place and would also like to add great values in the lives of people and thereby helping achieve their dreams. It's my honor to welcome Mrs. Anamika Mishra ma'am, expert, NLP expert, to share her knowledge on NLP and as an innovation in learning. I welcome you, ma'am. Ma'am, you're mute.
Ma'am, you are muted, Anamika.
Thank you, Veena, for reminding me.
You're
It's
welcome,
my
ma'am.
honor and privilege to be here. And what I feel, nothing can eulogize the importance of teacher than these two lines. Can you hear me?
All of you,
Am
please
I
mute your
on?
mics. Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay, got that. So I was just saying these two particular lines, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nothing can eulogize the importance of teacher better than these lines. And I'm so honored and privileged to be amongst you, the future teachers and the present teachers. I feel that these two lines, which means that Guru, who is synonymously used for Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, Guru is the representative of gods, and he creates, sustains knowledge, and destroys the weeds of ignorance, which we all have our mission towards. Importance of teacher in the life of a student cannot be summed up in words. A good teacher inspires student to strive for greatness, builds character, unlocks the true potential, and tries to see and bring about the best in his or her students. I would like to applaud each one of you, and each one of you can give yourself a real big hand for the noble work that you all are doing. Because least said, as teachers, we affect the face of the earth. We bring about the most powerful, privileged generation. In today's fast-paced life, what is happening? We are transforming at a constant pace. As educators, we need to know about our strengths, our weaknesses, and the gray areas of not only ourselves, but of our students. Because we need to develop the natural ability and the skills that we and our children possesses. Herein, we can tap into the neuro-linguistic programming to empower ourselves. You see, our lives are ruled by experiences, pleasant and unpleasant both. Pleasant ones makes us happy, and unpleasant ones makes us sad. To deal with life, one needs a strong sense of awareness and control of one's mind and action, which is possible through NLP. I would like to share more about NLP. NLP is made up of 3 words, that is neuro-linguistic programming. If you look at the neuro-linguistic programming, you may find that it's really something out of the world. Neuro means the nervous system, that is our mind through which our experience is processed. Linguistic is language and other non-verbal communication, that is our facial expressions, the tone of our voice, the pitch, and so on and so forth. And programming is if you can just read, the ability to discover and utilize further, and we run into a neurological system to achieve a specific outcomes. If I am, okay, let me stop the share for once. So these are sort of big words, but if I'm to simplify it, neuro-linguistic programming is basically the usage of language to rewire our brain. And we do it by usage of language and other tools. There are many methods, there are many methodologies, but neuro-linguistic programming, in order to apply, you need a certification for that, because if you're not certified, if you don't know how to control what to do and what not to do, it may cause an issue. if I am to say what is neuro-linguistic programming, it is basically an attitude of curiosity that is backed by methodology, and it is followed by a trail of techniques. It is a mindset or a way of thinking that is positive and that is result-oriented. Benefits of neuro-linguistic programming or NLP is immense. Just a moment. I'll share few of the benefits. Just a moment. Okay. Just a moment, please.
No problem, ma'am.
Yeah. So the benefits that one can derive from neuro-linguistic programming are immense. Knowing about neuro-linguistic programming itself can be really empowering. It gives educators the advantage of knowing what motivates a student, and then what they can do, they can change their methodology. They can change their methodology to suit the needs of the students. What more happens, the area of learning strategies provides students to develop skills that are empowering. And from an average student, they can surpass the level and reach the heights of becoming one of the best students if they desire. Not everyone wants to read, not everyone wants to study. And specifically, if even as a Montessori teacher, generally what happens is that people in India specifically, the teachers who are teaching higher grades, they feel that they have, and students also feel that they have the maximum importance. But I feel the formation years of children and the teachers who are dealing with those students hats off to the way they deal with students. And if they don't have a passion for teaching, it's my advice that not to join the teaching profession, because that is the formation year for students. You are kind of molding the clay into a beautiful pottery. And that is the time when they look out for, do you know that confidence, self-confidence, self-esteem is, and other things are also built during that time. So if you have passion for teaching, please go ahead. If you don't have passion for teaching, my advice would be to look out for some other career, because we are building up human beings. As I was telling you, NLP, provides teacher with tools to deal with challenging behaviors. To mention a few benefits of NLP, it can help you to feel happy and wonderful, which I'm going to make you experience here. It can change bad feelings permanently. It can get over fear like heights of public speaking, flying, changing bad memories, quit smoking, overcome problematic behaviors, build confidence, have better relationship, increase performance in any area of life, be free of the limiting beliefs, be free of anxiety, handle conflicts better, form achievable goals, to stay resourceful during stressful time. What happens? We break down. Mostly we break down during conflicting times, during tiring times. But that is the time when we can use NLP to be in a real resourceful state. And it is possible. For many of you, it may seem that this doesn't work, but in reality, it works. Okay, after this, I will be sharing an experience that I had while using NLP with few of my clients. It will help you to handle conflicts better. It will help you to form achievable goals. NLP is a great technique for goal setting and attainment of goals. I myself did it. Had someone introduced me to NLP long back, probably I would have been the Prime Minister of India. Maybe. So it helps you to stay resourceful during stressful times. It also gives you a high degree of flexibility in difficult situations in which our ability to communicate slows down or it gets disinterrupted. It also helps us to learn effectively. So such things can be achieved through NLP. It's just not learning, it's how much we practice. I'll just stop the share for some time. Let me share with you an experience. I was into relationship coaching, and there was a couple who was committed since for around say 8 years. The girl wanted to get married because she was reaching her post-marriageable age, and the parents were worried. The boy though loved the girl, but then he had a fear of commitment. And then he was shying away from getting married. What happened was that she came in for relationship coaching. She brought her partner along with her. And then I could understand that it was because of fear of commitment, he did not want to get married. As a result, in 4 sessions, he got rid of his fear. It was coaching come NLP. It was not pure NLP. I'm an NLP coach, ICF, International Coaching Federation, credentialed NLP coach. So it was during that time, in 4 sessions, his fear of commitment, he got rid of that. And now they are happily married for around 3 years. So, NLP can help you reach, and coaching also can help you to find the root cause of the issue. What seems on the surface, if you have seen iceberg, with NLP, generally the picture of iceberg is always shown, because what seems at the tip, it is just a minor part of you. Whatever you do, our habits, our behaviors, it is because of the subconscious mind, the thing that is not so much so in our awareness. Okay. Now, how can we use NLP into teaching? I would like you to either type on the chat box or unmute yourself and tell me, when do you think you can be most effective as a teacher? When can you teach effectively?
When children are happy.
When do you teach most effectively, right?
When children are happy and they enjoy what they do.
Yeah, thank you. Exactly. And
when your mind is totally clear and pleasant, no blocks, no disturbances, no stress.
Exactly. Right. Absolutely. So, we can say that you perform the best when you are in a good state of being, which means that you are happy, you have great energy, you feel satisfied when children are happy and they are able to grasp what you are teaching. Just to mention a few, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
As educators, we can empower ourselves by being in a resourceful state, by being in a better state of being, because we need to be in the best possible versions. When I started my teaching profession more than 20 years back, I did not know all this. If I am to look at myself and analyze myself, I was an average teacher wanting to be the best. Today, we have techniques, and I want you to be the best version of yourself as teachers. You also want it, don't you?
Yes, ma'am.
All of us want to be the best possible version. And, students, I don't term them as students, I term them as children. I used to be an absolutely strict teacher. We all undergo transformation depending on the years and depending on the experience we have. What I understand, the teacher's responsibility goes beyond the books, because the teacher's behavior, her entire persona, the way she looks at the students, her body language, all influence the child to a great extent. The influence of a teacher goes beyond the classroom. It goes to form the confidence, the self-esteem, the belief, and the worldview of the child. Do you realize how important a teacher is for a young child and also for a real young child? So you can understand what great responsibility is there on your shoulders, teachers. And what we can do, we can tap into the power of NLP. I'm not using real big words. I hope my intention is to make you aware of how we can incorporate NLP into our day-to-day affairs so that it becomes a part and parcel of when you are dealing with your family members, when you are dealing with your friends, when you are dealing with your students. So it's no big words, but these are the tenets of NLP that you need to incorporate. And trust me, I have used that and it can change your world. And it can change the world that you are living in, most importantly, right? So, what happens is that when we use our brain to deliberately think about our experience, it will give us the freedom to choose how we respond to situations that impact our surroundings. So do you teachers want to be more effective through the usage of NLP? Would you like to know about a technique, just one technique, and few of the presuppositions of NLP?
Sure, ma'am.
Show me your excitement through clapping. Let's clap. It's good for health. And as an EFT professional, all the nerve endings, it's there on our hands, on our palms, on our fingertips. So the more we clap, we energize ourselves. So let's start with NLP presuppositions. I hope that's fine with everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. So what is NLP presupposition? These are basically unbiased and compelling set of beliefs that we can incorporate in our lives. Why is belief important? Because belief and before that thought, they are the building blocks of who we are, what we do, and why we do what we do, most importantly. So you need to understand when you incorporate these NLP presuppositions in your day-to-day dealing, you are creating your beliefs of excellence. And who doesn't want to be excellent in the life? No one wants to be, average or mediocre, because there is always a hunger for more. You must have heard, ye dil mange more.
Yes.
So it is always like that. So NLP presuppositions will give form to the underlying beliefs and attitudes, and it is going to create the mindset of excellence. Operating from one or more of the presuppositions when interacting with other people, your friends, your colleagues, your students, your clients, can be a massively empowering basis to facilitate change in an endless ways. The word presupposition means that you just need to imagine that it is to be true. First and foremost, how it would be, how would you feel if you are accepted unconditionally, just the way as you are? How would that world look like?
Not happy.
Why?
Because you're just accepted the way you are. There is no improvement. You might, they have accepted you, but within you, you feel there is something more to change about you. Your inner voice says.
Okay. And Veena,
yes,
what if you are not criticized, judged, and you are accepted unconditionally? How would you feel about it?
Initially, we wouldn't know that, but later we would think, okay, at that moment, they could have corrected me. So I would have been a better person. So, or instead of blaming that person and the situation, I would like to take it as a learning and a new experience. So we need to thank that particular experience and that person for creating that situation and giving us that learning.
Yeah, that is really empowering. But what happens with most of the people, when people are judged, when people are criticized, they develop a negative self-esteem.
Yes.
They feel that they are not good enough. What happens is that they feel that they really feel
depressed.
Inferior. So depressed, inferior. And what happens is that they feel that they are not up to the mark. And then the downward trend starts.
Less worthy.
Less worthy. I had a client who had the habit of negative self-talk. And it all started when he was a child, when he was in class 2 or 3, because of the teachers. I'm not blaming the teachers because I still feel that I belong to that fraternity. And what happened was that made a disruption in his life later on. So, you know, what happens when people are accepted unconditionally? They feel, generally if we don't like a certain person, or if we don't, why don't we like a certain person? Let me
Excuse me,
that.
ma'am. Is that why they say no matter how long you've moved on in life, you might have a big bungalow, 3-4 cars, money, a big position, all that, but they're not happy in life. They have everything.
Yes.
Why? Because they are carrying an emotional baggage from the childhood.
Yes, absolutely.
So
that
you
is
need
why
to, you need to take it from the root.
You need to take it from the root. It's always there. It's always there. The feeling of incompleteness. I have, you know, in a group session, it was for a certain kind of behavior. In a group session, they all had the emotional baggage right in their childhood. As a result, they could not love themselves. As a result, they could not be happy. What you are saying, Veena, totally agree. They were super rich, but they were not at all happy in spite of everything that they were having. So what we need to do, you know, whosoever comes to your class, you just need to accept the person, accept the child unconditionally, because we need to understand that people are not their behaviors. People may be behaving in one particular pattern. We may dismiss or dislike or reject a behavior, but we should never dismiss or reject a person. Now, NLP seeks to understand people better. And this is what can help people understand that their habits and self-defeating behaviors are not cast in stone, and it can be modified in time. Have you thought about your self-defeating behaviors? Do you have any behavior that you don't like in yourself? If you can just type in the chat, please. Any if all can, I mean, you can unmute yourself, and also if you can, there are 24 participants. If you can tell me what behaviors you don't like in yourself, which limits you.
Actually, ma'am, earlier I had, but now I don't remember anything. It's all gone blurred, because I would like to share that I have also done pranic healing. So all my anger, I never used to like my anger.
Okay, so one is anger. Anyone else? Anyone else, if you can share, what are the defeating behaviors, self-defeating behaviors that you don't like in yourself?
Ma'am, for some it is anger, for some it is suppression.
Okay.
For some it could be always having like you said, negative thoughts that I'm not fit for this. Even that, you know, destroys a person's hope and what dreams he has.
Absolutely, absolutely. So if you can just think about, because generally what happens in day-to-day affairs, looking at the chores of the house, we never take up time to address what is required and what is essentially required. If you can just identify any 3 of your negative behaviors and just jot them down quickly. Addressing, you can do it later on. Some negative behaviors which you are not liking, take yourself time. I'm giving you at least 1.5 minutes. 3 negative behaviors. We all have many. So if you can just jot down, you know, just jot down 3 negative behaviors and then type in the chat box, please. I am just clocking you for a minute. I'm using the clock. 1 minute time is you have. And as you find out,
Ma'am, I think, can I say my point?
sure, please. Yeah.
Ma'am, I think I generally like myself, but I had to think really quick to say what I don't like about myself. I think I cannot say no to anybody. Sometimes it becomes very difficult for me. And then I think I fear, initially when I was young, I was very energetic and very adventurous. So now I fear heights, water, so those kind of things. But otherwise, I think I could get only two, ma'am. Might be if we are given more time, we might think more.
So 1.5 minutes, half minute, 30 seconds for 3. We'll just come immediately. 1.5 minutes I can give, surely.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Pritha.
I would request all the attendees also to note down your points, please.
Yeah, I would really like it to be an interactive sessions, because that is why I did not use the typical NLP words, which goes right from here, so that one can, adapt in the daily life. I hope I am understood by everyone.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Very clear.
Thank you. So I think, at least, even if people are not sharing, but I feel that each one of us has certain limiting behaviors. At least, even if you have jotted down 3 of them, you have it on paper. Take time to address those. What happens is that, specifically as females, we cook, we take care, and males also do. I don't have any gender bias. I also feel that males are equally important. They need to be taken care of. Everywhere when I see on Facebook, it is women's right, women empowerment. But what about the males? They also need to be empowered. They also have their feelings. They don't show it. That is all. So irrespective of whosoever, just the 3 limiting behaviors that you have jotted down, take time to address that. We all go into the chores of everyday living. But are we actually doing the things that we need to do, that we require to do? We don't do that, right? These are the things that needs to be taken care of, so that you can make your life a better one. And you know what is my vision? My mission is to make the world a better place than I found it, starting from my own world, my own inner world, and moving on to the world of others, inner and outer world, both. Now, the second presupposition of NLP is that the map is not the territory. Do you know that humans act as per the way they perceive the world? Because we never have the true access to reality. In our neurological system, there are different filters. The filters that is dependent on our past memories, on our experiences, on our beliefs, and on our values. What happens is that, suppose if 2 people are there, and in a similar kind of situation, their response would be different. Because okay, let me share one slide, just a moment. I would like to share one slide. Now, this is what I mean. This is what I mean when two people who see the same event or thing, but have different responses to it. Because as I told you, we don't have access to the reality. We experience reality through our filters, through our senses, through our beliefs, through our own personal map of reality. We don't, which already has an agenda that is written to it. If you can look into this picture, presuppositions of NLP, can anyone, I'm really curious to, sorry, just a moment. Can anyone actually tell me what this picture is all about?
Reflection.
Right, reflection. And?
Perspective. Means perspective of, it's each one's perspective, how you look.
Exactly. And the presuppositions of NLP, basically, whatever has been your experience, whatever is stored in the memory, whatever you like, you dislike, it is reflected just as it is. It's really deep. You know, after doing NLP, I wonder, the human system is so complex, yet so beautiful. We don't have to worry whether our heart is beating or not. We don't have to worry if the blood is flowing into our veins or not. Everything is taken care of by the human anatomy. Just a moment, I'll stop sharing. Yeah, coming back. Why do we dislike others? Can anyone tell me? Or why do we enter into conflict with someone?
We don't like either behavior of theirs.
Yeah.
Few behaviors.
We don't like behaviors. Yeah. And why we don't like behaviors, Prathama?
Because might be we want them, we have thought of some particular behavior in them, but we feel that once we talk to them, we don't like that. Because
Exactly.
we are all human beings. We have different way we look at things, we behave.
Exactly, because we have our own filters. We feel
Yes, we
that
always want people to see the way what we like, no?
Exactly.
Not thinking about them. Yes.
Right.
Yes, okay.
Absolutely. So I was just wanting, what if we respect other people's world just as we respect our own? Can you just imagine if everyone had the respect for other person's model of the world? When I mean by the model of the world, their likings, their dislikings, the way they are unconditionally, the world would be a nicer place, isn't it? It's human nature to be judgmental. It's a coping mechanism. We all are judgmental every time. And there is a reason as to why we are judgmental. We can avoid it with the usage of NLP. It is possible for us to do, and it would improve when we appreciate and totally accept other people's model of the world. It would improve relationship, and it would make us far less judgmental and avoid conflicts, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
And okay, I would like to ask you, suppose if you gave an instruction to someone, right? You want to get work done by someone. You give an instruction to someone, but that person did something else. Who is to be blamed? Suppose you give me some instruction, right? Each one of you give me some instruction. I say I have understood. And then when you see the end result, I have done something else, which was not expected. So who is to be blamed?
We need to be sure that the person understood it well.
Right. Right. Absolutely right. Because the meaning of communication is in the response that you get. The meaning of communication is not what you intend to say, but also in the response that you get. As I gave you an example, if you are communicating, if I am communicating, it is my responsibility to understand and to ensure that whatever I want to communicate, people have understood it correctly. Now, in future, how can you change this way of communication? In future, whenever you are communicating, you need to think about what you want, how you are going to say it, and then as you are communicating, observe if the person is getting the message right across. Because if he doesn't get the meaning of what you are saying, then the result would be something else than what you wanted. So this presupposition also tells us that if we bring about a change in ourselves, we have the ability to change the world. And world doesn't mean the entire globe. The world starts with my own small world, my own family, my own friends, my own class. And then we move on to the world, a bigger world. Behavioral flexibility. Mostly we are all rigid. I used to be extremely rigid at one point in time. If I look myself 10 years back, I used to be extremely rigid. But then behavioral flexibility, having, what is your basic nature. And when you develop behavioral flexibility, you will see a change in the approaches of the people and yourself. Behavioral flexibility is also the key to effective communication skills. And suppose if we feel that whatever we are wanting, it's not happening, then we need to change the way we are saying or what we are saying. Because when we improve ourselves, we also improve the results in the people around us. Now, can you see how with the usage of NLP, just presuppositions of NLP, simple presuppositions of NLP, we can bring about great changes in our lives. Accepting people unconditionally. The map is not the territory. The meaning of the communication lies in the response that you get. Own your mind and own your outcomes. What is happening? Are you noticing? We are moving from other responsibility to self-responsibility. We are becoming empowered. We are not waiting that the reaction of the other person would guide our behavior. We are taking the control in our own hands. Are you realizing? Such is the power of simple presupposition of NLP. It makes you really empowered. It makes you powerful because our behavior is not dependent on others. It won't happen in 1 day, in 2 days, or in 3 days. You need to consistently practice it. Your original behavior will immediately come to the fore. Suppose if you dislike a person and that person comes in front of you, obviously you are going to judge. But if you remember the NLP technique, respect other people's world and accept other people unconditionally, the intensity is going to decrease slowly. Do you get my point? Do you agree to this point most important?
Yes, ma'am.
So are you understanding? This is going to empower you beyond degrees. Now, own your mind and own your outcomes. What happens is, if we become angry at something, what do we say? That he made me angry. Because of her, I became angry. Because of her, I have to do all these things, isn't it? But you need to understand, thought precedes every action, behavior, reaction, and response. It's very easy to blame others for making you angry or for making you do something. But what is extremely essential to recognize that all your actions and all your emotions are filtered through your neurological system first. And at that moment, you have the choice to accept or to refuse. And it happens fast, within seconds it happens, right? And at that point, no one dictates you. People's behavior or certain situations don't make you do things. They never make you angry. They never, nothing can force you except yourself, be it because of the circumstances, be it because of anything else. No one forces you to do something. So next time, next time, whenever you have to make a choice, you need to recognize that no one except you controls your body and mind, and you need to take responsibility for all your actions, for all your emotions. If we become more aware of our thought processes, there is always a trigger. That's this behavior would trigger me. You need to presume what you are going to do if such situation happens. Obviously, you need to practice. Practice makes a man perfect. These are very simple things I initially never paid any attention to. It is only when I came into the professional world, life coaching, NLP, Reiki, I underwent a lot of metamorphosis and transformation to become the person that I am today. I am really empowered today, and I want to share this empowerment with others, not keep it to myself. Because trust me, the more you share, the more you grow. It doesn't reduce. Many people are very skeptical. Many of my, there are people who tells, why do you share so freely? Because I have something that I can utilize to make the world a better place. As a result, it gives me immense pleasure to share with each one of you. So, let's become more responsible. And there is another presupposition: there is no failure, there is only feedback. Imagine if you can utilize this particular sentence in your classroom, in your home. As mothers, what happens? I have a child, I have two children. One is working and one is in college. And if I had known this, I would have been a better mom. Trust me. Because as mothers, we want our children to be the best. As a result, what do? We nag. If they don't study, you are not studying. What will you do? You'll end up pulling a rickshaw. You'll start selling vegetables. That is the only thing we say. We all say, a typical mom syndrome. Or else you go and do bartan. This is what we say. Go and wash the utensils. This is what we say. Go do something. Do the brooming and mopping. We all say that. But if I had known so many years back, there is no failure, only feedback, I would have been a better mom and a far better teacher, undoubtedly. So what happens is that we view the world in black and white as a system of failures and success, which is itself a self-limiting paradigm. We, as humans, we always make mistakes in life. But to refer to those mistakes as failures, to define those experiences as judgments and finalities, it would restrict ourselves from trying any further. Because as a child, if I remember, go back to your childhood. As a child, if I was not successful, if I did not come first, I used to leave that and never try that again. Such great was ego at that time. And this is true for all the children, many of the children, isn't it? And suppose if one does not try, either because of ego or either because one fears failure, then what is happening? He is limiting his experience of life. Now, there is another situation. What if one tries and then he again becomes successful? It will develop the fear of lack of confidence, lack of self-esteem. So as parents and as teachers, if we can, compartmentalize that there is no failure, there is only feedback. Self-esteem is not dependent on the results of what we are doing. But whenever we do a work, there are two choices: a choice to celebrate or a choice to empower with the feedback. Don't you think it will be more effective? What's your take on this?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I also have other participants who participate as well? Okay. So as I was telling you, we should not be labeling our results as successes or failures. What would happen? What would happen if you carry it forth in your teaching, in your classroom? That there's no failure, there's only feedback. Don't you think that the children whom you are going to teach or whom you are teaching, they would become more powerful as a human being?
Yes.
With lots of confidence. And when one is confident, one can achieve more. One can overcome lack of confidence, but imagine what the world would be when people are confident. So other presuppositions of NLP is that the mind and the body affects each other. Suppose if we have a headache, we feel irritated, we feel jittery, we don't feel like doing anything. And we feel that we need to rest. That is why today we have the concept of mind, body, spirit connection. As a result of which we need to, this particular presuppositions forces us to think in the direction that we need to take care of our body and mind, because ultimately they both affect each other. Now, when a person has a goal, what do you need to do? Everyone has a goal. Even a 2-year-old will have a goal, maybe to run till the end of the corridor. That would be her goal. So when a person has a goal, what you need to ensure as teachers, that the person is confident enough that he really wants to achieve the goal, whether it is congruent in all the aspects of his life, whether the achievement of goal will affect him positively in different direction of his life, and whether it would be good for the person concerned and his associates. Associates can be family, friends, colleagues, and all. Yeah, because if the ecology doesn't work, then what happens is, no matter what, even if the person achieves the goal, it would not be fulfilling. Somewhere down the line, it would not be completely good for the person and his associates. Because we all need to know that people have all the resources. Suppose if you are thinking about something, you need to understand that you have all the resources to achieve that particular thing. Because had you not have that resource, you wouldn't have been thinking about it. Right? So once you ensure that it is good for everyone, for himself, for the people around him, then always encourage the person to move towards his goal, because he does have the resources. And at this time, I'm remembering a quote: possible in the world, possible for me, but only a matter of how. It's always there. We know that this can be possible, but how do we do it? So if anyone has a goal, and encouragement plays a great role, it always does. You try that in your own life. Encourage yourself first and see the difference in feeling that you would have. Now, let's do one thing. So just close your eyes for once and repeat the word failure thrice. And notice your feeling. Now, open your eyes, say the word feedback, and notice your feelings. Did you find any difference? If you can just unmute yourself or write in the chat box. And also the people who are present.
We felt more energized when we are saying feedback. And
Exactly.
when we said failure, we felt more down.
Right. Thank you, Pratha ma'am. Absolutely. Anyone else also?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, when saying feedback thrice, I could see your aura.
And how did you feel? And what did you?
Beautiful.
Okay. Yeah, it's big. My aura extends. True. Nice. Thanks, Veena. Right. Yes. And do you see the effect of words on our thing? I just wanted you to experience that because wherever I go, I always leave an experience.
We feel a vibration, a positive vibration.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. So next time, and whenever you're going to use in the class, please understand this. This is something that I do everywhere in all the faculty development programs, how we can cater to the children better. Now, there is another thing, the person with the most flexibility will always control the system, will always influence the system, and will always be in the system. What does it mean? It means that one needs to avoid rigidity. And you know what? Initially, when I started this, I did not like this particular presupposition because what I felt that if I'll not be rigid, I would be moving away from my personality. But this particular presuppositions, the law of requisite, the law, I mean, the law of requisite variety, yes. The law of requisite variety basically says that you need to be flexible. Flexible never means, what I could understand, it never means going away from your personality. It means that being in your personality, yet be flexible enough to mold yourself when the situation presents itself. Suppose if I am not so strong and suddenly a situation is presented. Then if I'll not be flexible, what will happen? I'll still be not so strong person. But if I would be having the flexibility in such a circumstance, I would bring out my inner strength and deal with that particular situation. Just an example. Are you understanding? This is what the law of requisite variety talks about, is to have the flexibility. All these, I mean, there are many presuppositions which we call as beliefs of excellence. You can tweak in to suit your own needs. But if you apply, just experiment, don't believe me. I always say, don't believe me. You experiment with it and just see, continue experimenting it for a continuation of say around 21 to 30 days. You will see a change in yourself. Start small. You will definitely see, and you will see that you move towards excellence. How many of you, so what have been your learnings from the presuppositions of NLP? If you can just type it. And if you can share it with me as well.
Have respect for others.
Yeah, absolutely.
And accept others the way they are unconditionally.
You're right. And what will it bring about, Veena?
You're making them a better person, molding them to a better person.
Right. And in turn, how will it benefit you?
Lots and lots of happiness.
Yes.
That you have done something. It's like you are getting a treasure. This happiness, you can't get it anywhere else.
Very
Because
true.
you are a reason to bring a smile on their face. And that smile brings a change in their personal life and their individuality as well.
Absolutely. So you can see with very simple things, what happens is that we always want to look out for bigger things. This is going to give me happiness. Getting a Zara or getting a Gucci t-shirt is going to give me happiness. This is nothing else, just pure, simple thing is going to give you happiness. And the moment you make others happy, you yourself become happy. This is so priceless, isn't it?
Yes.
Just try experimenting, and I'll share with you my email ID. If you can also, okay, I'm sharing a simple one because okay, this is a direct, probably I think I need to everyone, probably I have sent it to Brita as direct message to everyone. I'm just typing my email ID. This is of my Reiki one. And also I'm typing my WhatsApp number. Okay, for Veena, I'm also typing the country code so that it becomes easier, and other people who are not here. Okay, plus. Yeah. So please, in case if you adhere to the presuppositions of NLP and if you find any change in yourself, please mail me, or please, this is my WhatsApp number. You can get in touch with me. I would really love to know if something has changed your life. I don't mind it to be minute. I don't want it to be big, but definitely I want it to be priceless. I want it to be happy, right? Most importantly, what you can do in a classroom. What enhances a teaching learning scenario is when you build rapport. In Indian context, when we build rapport, right? What happens is when we build rapport, researchers have found that it enhances learning by students. Children find it easier to learn. They are more motivated to learn. They are more motivated to engage in a task, engage in a discussion, engage in some activity if rapport in the class is built by the teachers and built by the students. So whenever you see a problematic again within quotes, problematic child, you need to establish that rapport. I have my connections with students whom I taught more than 18 years back. My students, they are themselves fathers and mothers of young kids. I sound antique, but I am not an antique piece.
No, you're still beautiful and young.
Yeah, always. So, what we do when we build rapport, specifically in situations that are stressful for children, because we don't know what they undergo, how they are coming from where they are coming from, what is the situation there. The same goes for teachers. But as teachers, we have to be more responsible because we are on the other side of the table. We have to be role models. We have to be the best possible versions so that we can impart what we have come for. And most importantly, children can form their world, their belief system, their confidence. They'll remember you. It's not the ones, even the most intelligent student, they are going to remember you. And specifically those children whom you never labeled. I really want to share. It doesn't have to do much with NLP, but never ever judge a student. Never ever label a student. Because what happens, this is from my teaching experience. I'm just giving you one pearl from so many years of teaching, is that initially, even I was a party to it, but then I realized, no, as teachers, we need to be more responsible. Never ever judge a student. What happens is that when we are sitting in a staff room, we may be talking about students. And as a result, even the teachers who don't know those students, they form an image or a belief about that student. So even if a student would like to improve some other time, he or she will never get a chance to improve. And with the same kind of image, he lives. Because maybe you have started with the Montessori training. You never know when you'll become, you would like to go in for B.Ed and the other degrees, or for your PhDs whenever you are teaching, irrespective of whom you are teaching, where you are teaching. Ensure that you don't judge a student. I hope, my intention was to bring about basic changes, which has profound influence by the presuppositions of NLP. Have you been able to grasp that? I wanted to know if you can type in the chat box, or if you can unmute yourself and let me know.
Yes, ma'am. Because you were very simple in what you explained. So it was not a very difficult process. It was easy and we could relate to it better, ma'am.
I hope, all the people in the class, I hope they share the same feeling.
Sure, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I think so.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Yes, ma'am.
sure. So would you like to feel wonderful and happy? I would like the cameras to be on, because this is an NLP exercise that we are going to do. Before that, you will have 2 minutes time to think about 3 specific with the camera off. I won't be able to do this session because I need to see each one. Is that possible, Pritha ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay.
Can everyone please switch on your cameras?
Okay, just after 2 minutes. In the meanwhile, what I want you to remember, 3 specific instances when you felt really happy. I'm giving you 1.5 minutes time. I'm clocking the time. 3 specific instances when you felt happy. And I want each one to write in the chat box. Yes, that once they find that, I want them to write it down. Yes, I just want you to write why, if you have found 3 instances that made you happy, in the chat box. And I want the camera to be on, and please don't do it on your own. The exercise that I would be making you do. I would be making you do a certain exercise. Please don't do it on your own.
Okay.
I will be, when you are alone, don't even try that.
Okay.
That is why I want the camera to be on. Let me have a grid view of that. Gallery.
Anamika ma'am, sorry ma'am, I think you're muted. We can't hear you.
Yeah. So please write in the chat box if you have found out, so that I ensure that everyone has found. They have found the 3 instances. Pritha ma'am is there. Okay. Now, if all of you can turn your cameras on. Because I won't be able to carry the exercise if the cameras are not on.
Sharmin ma'am, Shafna ma'am, Jahina ma'am.
You can put yourself in mute. I understand that probably the surroundings, but you can always turn on the camera because this is essential for the NLP exercise, or we'll have to abort that. Shakila ma'am had told beforehand, and Anil sir is there, and Rishikesh sir is there.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, you are there. Okay, okay.
Yes, ma'am. I'm traveling, that's why in between.
No issues, no issues. Okay, you told. Or else it's not, I don't know whether they would be doing without the camera on, so I cannot take the risk of doing the NLP exercise, which would have actually given you an experience to feel happier.
Anamika ma'am, actually, Jyoti ma'am, she has some issues there, heavy rain, so she can't hear anything.
Okay.
So she is on the camera.
Okay, okay. And rest. Okay, so the ones who are not switching on the camera, I would request you not to attend because it's no point. I would like to see. Shakila ma'am, I feel that you're traveling. It's okay. You told me that. Then please don't do this.
No problem,
because-
ma'am. No problem. I was listening to you, no?
Okay. No, I need to see. I need to see. Cannot take the risk as a practitioner. Yeah. So, I mean, it doesn't matter. We can connect some time later on. If you have issues while you're traveling, it's absolutely fine. And I request the people who have not switched on the camera not to do this. Now, what you need to do is, have you all thought about the 3 instances that makes you happy? Yeah.
Ma'am, can you please give me some time? I'll just type in the chat box so that Jyoti ma'am can read.
Okay, sure, sure.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Right. Now, what you need to do, just relax yourself. Just relax yourself completely. With your camera on, just relax yourself. Now, close your eyes. All of you just sit straight and close your eyes. Just sit straight and close your eyes. Be comfortable. Think of the time when you were really happy, the first instance when you were happy. Think about that time in great details. Hear how you were hearing at that time when you were happy. What words were you saying when you were happy? And feel the expression. Step into that experience. Live that experience now. Feel the happiness now. See what you would see hear what you would hear, and feel what you would feel. Now, think about the second experience when you felt really happy. See what you would see, hear what you would hear, and feel what you would feel. Come up with the third instance when you felt very happy. You're already feeling happier. You carry the feelings from the first two experiences. You are solidifying the third experience. I would again ask you to see what you would see, hear what you would hear, and feel what you would feel, as if stepping into that experience. Make that experience, if you can locate in your body wherever you are feeling, make it grow. Feel that it is growing bigger and bigger and bigger. It is becoming brighter and brighter and brighter. Now, all of you, open your eyes immediately. Now, I would like you to share your experience. What are you feeling? How was it before? And how is it now for you? And also, I would like you to think about the next few days when you feel happy without any reason. So did the exercise have any difference in you, made any difference within you?
Yes, ma'am.
What did you feel, Prathama?
I could go back to my whatever I thought about my happy moments, and I could relive those moments. And I felt more happier, thinking that I could have I could have gone back to those times. Those were more memorable, and it made me more happier.
And now, how are you feeling?
Now also I feel happy, ma'am. At least, even though I could not go back in time, at least I could experience those memories.
Exactly. Right. And also, I mean, I will be in touch with you on WhatsApp. You also see for the next 7 to 8 days, how are you feeling? Are you feeling happier for no reason, or you are not feeling? Just be more aware.
Okay, ma'am.
And Veena, what did you feel?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I had so many, I didn't know where to go. But then the moment I closed my eyes, like you said, the three incidents that took me was first, yes, I could bring a smile on somebody's face where she was feeling less worthy. She had everything, house, money, yes, to an extent, not much, but yes. But though she had everything, she was feeling some emptiness was there. So I could feel that emptiness. And recently she had, and once she also told me, you're the reason you taught me how to respect myself. All these days I haven't done that. I said, that's why you're looking more beautiful. There's a glow on your face. So I remembered that. And secondly, I would like to also share that there was a friend of mine who was finding it. Initially, she was attending the class, and later, going by, she couldn't for many and many. So I don't know, some inner voice told me, yes, she will. So I had that belief, yes, she will. And I told myself, yes, I will do it. I don't know how, but I will do it. And finally, that day she entered, I was so emotional, so happy. So that also I remembered. And third, I remembered the day I entered this class. So because of that, I could bring changes in each one's life. So the third was the first day of my NCDC class.
Mm-hmm. So, and did that increase your happiness?
Yes, ma'am. So no doubt about it. So because of that day, I could do rest of it. Maybe they had wished for that. God, please help me. I want to come out of it. I want to be a better person. I want to transform my life and move on in life. But how?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
That's how I jumped in.
True. Nice. So also, Veena, just be more aware whether you feel the same happiness or more in the next few days, and
Sure,
do
ma'am.
reach out to me so that it becomes more
Sure,
clear.
I will, ma'am.
Yeah. And Shakila, ma'am, you can switch off the video. It is just for the exercises, and please don't try it on your own. Don't try it on your own because there are certain nuances that needs to get into it. So
Sorry,
I
ma'am.
think.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So
You're considering me that much. Okay.
sure. So I think we have come to the end of the session. Anything that you would like to share or you would like to ask? Any queries or any questions that you have?
Attendees, would you like to shoot any questions, or would you like to share your experience?
Yeah,
I
good
think
ma'am.
Shapna
Good
ma'am wants
afternoon,
to. Yes,
Anamika ma'am.
Samina ma'am.
Salam.
Yeah.
Walaikum.
Islam. Yes, ma'am. Memories are always within us, whether it is good or bad. But from your class, I got a simple time to experience the good memories. We always thinking about our bad memories, and we are feeling in the way like that. But there is a reason, lots of reason for our good memories, and that every a simple kindness or a simple thing that we can make us others to smile, make others happy, that will remain us forever, and that will gives us a positive ahead for going. And as per you, ma'am said to write the 3 important things. I was just recollecting what are the 3 things that made me more happy. So
We
a
all
lot
do.
of lot of lists are there. Among them, we are difficult to choose which is the most important one. Anyhow, the three important are one in our every developmental stage. That is my graduation day, the first day I got a job, and the birth of my child. Both these three moments I made others to smile also. Thank you, God, and thank you, ma'am, for giving to recollect that beautiful memory once again in my life. Thank you, ma'am.
You make me happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always feel like spreading happiness, basically because I always believe, just like all the religion, we believe in the power of gratitude. When we are happy, we are grateful. But what happens is that we always forget it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every day, all of us in our day-to-day life, we never feel the reason to be happy. So this is one exercise which I generally do with as much simplicity so that it can be grasped by all. There are more things that goes into the exercise. Thank you. Yeah.
Anybody else? Savya ma'am.
Ma'am, in daily life, how this NLP programmers can be?
In daily life, yes.
Yeah.
I'm able to hear. So in daily life, if you bring into use the NLP presuppositions, right? It can create a great change. What will happen that you will be more satisfied, contented, happy. You will be able to accept others' way of life and living. And as a result of which, what will happen is that when the acceptance grows, then you also tend to receive. People will feel good in your company. You will feel, once you accept others, you will feel good in their company. As a result, the bonding would be created. There would be differences, I'm not denying that, but a greater bonding would be created. If you talk about teaching and learning, the same thing, as for me, for a teacher who has been a teacher for more than 20 years, I never created that kind of boundary between Anamika, the personal one, or Anamika, the professional one. I was just the same in all my dealings. As a result, the acceptance for students and by students both became easy. When you give the concept that yes, it is not a failure, it is just a feedback, you empower the students. When you tell the students, when you build rapport, you facilitate learning. You yourself use NLP to become more empowered as a human being. There are many tools and techniques. It is just, kind of delving into NLP at a surface level. But these are the ways when you can bring about a change in your day-to-day life, in your day-to-day teaching. You empower yourself, you empower others. You give a belief to those children and believe that is positive in nature and it is the truth. Because whatever the seed you're going to sow in students' mind, that is going to stand for the rest of his life. So if a student feels that, yes, he can do it, in spite, whatever his skill would be, everyone cannot be, Michelangelo, right? So whatever his skill will be, he will try to his level best to do that. And there have been many stories, about people without much skill, but surmounting all odds, achieving what they desired. So these are very powerful. That is how we can, anyone else would like? I mean, Savya ma'am, did that address your query?
Yes, ma'am.
What ma'am is asking, was that clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Can you audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Any other queries?
No. I think all are done.
Okay.
So thank you so much, ma'am. Your knowledge, and because apart from NLP, I'm sure you have also shared your Reiki energy here. You have passed in the vibration, which we can feel it. So thank you so much for that. And now I invite Preeta ma'am for the vote to propose the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks. First of all, I would like to thank Mrs.Anamika Mishra ma'am for taking her time from a busy schedule and coming over here to enrich us with her knowledge about NLP and also in general, all the topics in general relating to NLP. And I'm also thankful to Baba Alexander sir and Ncdc for encouraging us with wonderful webinars. I would also like to thank our mentor and faculty, Mrs. Shakila Abdul Wahab ma'am and Mrs. Jyoti ma'am for extending their wonderful support and guidance. Last but not the least, a special thanks to all the attendees who have attended this particular webinar. We hope to see more participation in the coming webinars. Thank you so much.